A terrorist murders a Jew in Israel. The United States rebukes Israel for punishing the terrorist. This is the sad state of the current relationship between Israel and the United States of America. Don't go away. This is the Joshua and Caleb Report.
In a world plagued with anti-Israel propaganda, Paul Yavel presents the Joshua and Caleb Report, a positive voice of truth straight from Israel's heartland.
In a world of negativity and fake news, every Christian should be connected to the life and positivity that Israel brings to the world. Guys, go ahead and subscribe. You know, there's all those platforms, Luke.
Right.
All of them. I think you pretty much got us on everything now, Luke. You're doing great
Almost.
at that.
Although I did want to say something quickly.
Yeah.
We're a pro-Israel, very pro-Israel YouTube channel.
You better
right?
believe it. Yeah.
It is entirely possible that one day something, maybe we shouldn't get into too many specifics,
Everybody knows what you're going to say. Yeah.
To this YouTube channel. That being said, we also are putting our videos on Rumble. We don't have like a big following, but if you are like a dedicated watcher, listener, you should probably go over to Rumble. The link's in the description below, and just go ahead and subscribe, because if one day we just like disappear from YouTube or something,
You know where to find us.
You want to be able to make sure and still get our videos over there. So that's all the time I'll spend on that. But yeah, go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell. You got to hit all notifications, I think, and help us out there. And by the way, you can join as a monthly supporter on patreon.com/Joshua and Caleb, or our website at joshuaandcaleb.com. Josh,
Luke, we have huge announcement that we're not going to actually make. We're just going to leave people like on this major cliffhanger this week.
I'm going to make the announcement, but then I'm not going to say what it is.
Gotcha. So. That's what we're going to do today. Okay,
but the big announcement is, are you ready for it?
Right, I'm ready.
We are changing our name. Boom. Okay, there you go. But next
from Joshua and Caleb Report,
we will no longer be the Joshua and Caleb Report or the Joshua and Caleb Network.
Yeah. And
it's super exciting. It's a little bit sad, but it's super exciting. We started the Joshua and Caleb Report idea almost 10 years ago, I think. And we've done amazing things with him. By the way, we're still operating in the spirit of Joshua and Caleb. It's the two spies, because my name's not Caleb. Your name is Joshua. But it's the spirit and the idea of Joshua and Caleb from the Bible that brought the good news from the promised land back to the children of Israel. That's still a big part of our mission, and we're going to continue doing that each and every week. But we have big plans, including more videos, more categories of videos. And coming later on, we have other projects that are going to go along with our new name and theme that we'll be announcing next week. So the Joshua and Caleb Network is going away, but it's going to be coming back bigger and better and with more content than ever.
Luke, you got to just say quickly why. Why are we doing this? Well, are we like, you're the marketing director here. You're not only show host, but you're marketing director here at the organization. Why would you do something like this? We're targeting.
Well, just getting real quickly, there's been multiple surveys put out recently that the younger generation is losing their support for Israel.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're millennials, I think. There's also generations,
Gen Z.
Gen Z. Yeah. I don't even know about them. Gen Z. But like support for Israel is dropping. And so that's a big burden for us. Obviously, we want to reach everybody, all age categories, but we feel a big burden to reach the younger generation with the truth about what's happening in Israel, and also calling them out to not sit on the fence or not really know what they believe. But I'll say, no, we believe in supporting Israel 100%. So that's one of the aspects of the name change and the new projects that we'll be working on. We really want to reach more people on social media and platforms. And so we'll even be joining new platforms. By the way, this is where you come in. I have a survey in the link in the description below. It's super short. It'll probably take you 40 seconds to fill out. But if you can fill out that survey where it's questions like what platform should we be on, what content do you want, how long do you want our videos, because we're going to, about a month from now when our name change happens, we're going to be launching projects that have more videos, more content, but we want to know, what do you guys want? So please take a second, fill out the survey in the description below. It'll really help us out in moving forward. But the actual announcement of the name, we do know what the name is.
We've got it.
Super excited about
Domain
it. Our team
check. Got
is
it.
working very hard. We're going to be announcing that next week, so you don't want to miss it. Super excited about that.
Luke, we got a lot to talk about today, so we're going to get on with it. There's major stuff happening, and it's one of those situations where this time I'm not just a furious, like mad, crazy, like what in the world? This time I'm like sad.
Yeah.
Like what in the world? The America that we grew up in, the America that we love, the America that we like are patriotic about, what in the world's going on?
Right.
And this story that we're about to describe now is not the America that I know.
You may remember this story. It was May 2nd of this year, 2021. A man named Muntasir Shalabi drove up to a bus stop here in Samaria,
just down the road from us,
not very far from here, opened fire on 3 yeshiva students that were standing there. He killed a 19-year-old young man named Yehuda Guetta and wounded 2 other people. We have his picture up there on the screen. And then he fled and was later on captured by Israel's security forces. And by the way, we did an entire show where we actually went on location. We followed the roads that the terrorists took. We went to the bus stop, saw the bullet holes, so you can go back on our channel. Maybe we'll put that in the link in the description below as well. Check out the full story. But last week, the IDF, Israel's Defense Forces, demolished the home of the terrorist in the town of Turmis Aya. Okay?
That's right.
Right afterwards, the United States condemned the demolition of the Palestinian-American. Yes, he's also an American citizen, saying that the house should not have been destroyed. Now, we have a video of the demolition. We're going to watch that real quick.
Let's do it.
By the way, the precision that the IDF is able to go in and blow up one house and not damage anything around it just absolutely amazes me. I think it's incredible. Sometimes
check this out,
actually destroy just one room on the house. So they're very precise. They're going in, destroying one house in this town, and that's it. And there you go. House destroyed.
Luke, when I see something like that, my American patriotism say, this is like, this may sound a little like kind of different, but 4th of July fireworks.
Yeah.
Like that says we're the good guys. That represents like overcoming, good overcoming evil. Like this is our past, right? Like this is what America stands up to. We stand up against evil tyranny, and this is America, right? So when I see that house go down, look at that picture. I see that house go down. I go, yes, now, that's something we should support.
I do want to mention, and this is coming in the second half of the show. Okay. Yeah. In a Western mindset, you might be thinking, okay, if somebody shoots someone else in my state, murders someone, he goes to prison.
Yeah.
The rest of his family is not punished, right? So why is this happening? We're going to explain exactly why and why it is so necessary and just in just a few minutes. But first, what did the United States say about Israel demolishing this terrorist home? U.S. State Department spokesman Ned Price said the home of an entire family should not be demolished for the actions of one individual. He also said there's a critical need to lower the temperature in the West Bank. He talks about lowering his temperature. I can feel my blood pressure rising. Yeah. He says punitive demolitions exacerbate tensions at a time when everyone should be focused on principally ensuring calm. I could not agree with you more, Mr. Price. And perhaps you should think about encouraging the Palestinians not to kill Jews in Samaria, and maybe that would help lower the temperature in the West Bank.
Luke,
what do you think, Josh?
I think you're talking too much common sense there. What we have is a administration right now that is just blatantly Jew haters. Right. Like you can't get it past it. A political scene right now. Ned Price himself. Look at what he just quotes. He quotes these things that like there's no recognition. Rasheda Talib, like no recognition, anything that a terrorist killed an innocent 19-year-old boy on the way to school.
Right.
No recognition that was something bad. No, the bad thing is Israel didn't kill anybody. Israel destroyed a terrorist, a murderer's home.
Right.
And then
that's when
Ned Price has the arrogance and like the audacity to come back and tell Israel, and not only Ned Price, like the whole administration, the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken as well. Like underneath that, you have all these guys that are all in unison saying, Israel, don't do that.
Right. Oh, I mean, it gets worse. But first, just to as a little bit of background on Ned Price, he actually said, quote, "It is a historical fact that Israel occupied the West Bank, Gaza, and the Golan Heights after the 1967 war." No, I'm sorry. It is not a historical fact. And if you want to know more on that subject, we did an entire program on last week's show. So just go back to last week's video on our channel here, and you can watch exactly why that is not a historical fact. So, false facts here. This is coming from the spokesman for the State Department.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You'd think when a State Department,
and by the way,
spokesman for the State Department
previous
says
State
that.
Department recognized Israel's sovereignty on the Golan Heights.
Right.
Well, the American president did.
Yeah.
And there's
unbelievable.
And yeah. Okay. Anyways, it gets worse. The a spokesman for the U.S. Embassy actually said about the demolition
here in
of
Israel,
the terrorist house, as we stated numerous times, this is quote, "As we stated numerous times, the home of an entire family should not be demolished for the actions of one individual. We believe it is critical for all parties to refrain from unilateral steps that exacerbate tensions and undercut efforts to advance a negotiated two-state solution. This certainly includes the punitive demolition of Palestinian homes."
Again, no mention here of this man murdered a Jew. The whole American administration is just flat. Just Jewish blood means nothing.
Right.
It absolutely means nothing. And look, we got to continue on because Hady, I like to call him Hady. He's Arab, so it's probably Hady or something. But this guy, you talk about bad. We've just mentioned a few guys. They're kind of bad.
We're talking about Hady Amir, who is the new U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary for Israeli and Palestinian Affairs.
They had to make up that name to get him in there.
Yeah,
they had to make that up to get him in there.
But he's supposed
Biden's
to be,
point man.
Yeah, for the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
And what is his history? Like, he has an absolutely horrific history.
Oh, we already talked about before. He's 100% pro-Hamas.
Yeah, no, and not only pro-Hamas, but he's trying to get Hamas recognized, take them off the terror list, you know, like get them recognized as a, legit organization. And also quotes him, "I'm inspired by the Palestinian Intifada." You know what that means? That means like he's inspired by suicide bombers and terrorists and people that murder Jews. That's why, and you know what, Luke, he's actually here in Israel right now. He's actually here, and he's talking to both sides. And he just happened to be here when they right after they destroyed the house that we just showed the video of. And guess what? He hates that Israel destroyed that house.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's trying to get Israel, put pressure on Israel to recognize Hamas, the very organization that loves to see Jews killed. So literally in the State Department, we have a man dedicated. This is Biden's point man again on Israel, so-called Palestinian relations, right? Directing, and this is the kind of figure he is: a pro-Hamas, pro-terrorist. Don't bring any what do you say? Any compensation, or thing against a terrorist when a terrorist commits a crime. There should be no
justice.
No justice for that kind of situation. That's bad.
Or punishment. Yeah,
no punishment. Right.
We'll be right back with the show, but first I have to tell you about the Christians Meet Israel 30-day devotional. Whether or not you're an avid Israel lover or just beginning to love Israel, this easy-to-read book is for you. It includes many of the promises where God talks about Israel in the Old and New Testaments. Each day has a short explanation, space for taking notes, and a thought-provoking question at the end. Written by Zach Waller, this devotional is something that is very much needed for the body of believers worldwide right now. You can get your copy by clicking the link in the description below or just order it on Amazon. It's the perfect devotional to go through by yourself or with your whole family, and we promise it'll cause you to look at Israel in an entirely new light. You'll see God's land and people through His eyes and the lenses of Scripture. Purchase Christians Meet Israel by Zach Waller on Amazon or click the link in the description below. Use promo code Joshua and Caleb for a special listener-only discount.
Luke, we also, on the other side of this, thank God, Israel is...
they're standing up to the United States. The Prime Minister's office responded to the United States and said, quote, "The Prime Minister appreciates and respects the American administration. At the same time, he acts solely in accordance with the security considerations of the State of Israel and the protection of Israeli citizens' lives."
I say go Bennett.
And a member of Knesset said Israel won't stop demolishing homes of accused terrorists to appease Washington. So, Points for Israel's government. Way to go for standing up and doing what's right. And key word there, protection of Israeli citizens' lives. Basically, we care about the Jewish people not dying. We care about our citizens' lives, and that's why we're going to do whatever's necessary, no matter what Washington says.
Look, okay, so we got to get into this because everybody's asking, okay, so the terrorist did it. Why blow up his house?
He's going to prison.
Yeah.
Why punish the rest of his family?
Right, because he has a wife. Actually, he has a lot of wives. He has a lot of children. One of his wives lives in this house. The rest of his wives live in America.
By the way, if you live in New Mexico, some of his wives, according to reports, actually lived there, and he actually lived there and had multiple houses there.
Correct. But this house, like, okay, so what? This is just crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We want to watch it's a propaganda video from the Palestine Pixel. We're going to watch that first, and I'll kind of set the stage for this.
But we got to see this video because this is literally got to get the mindset of why he killed an Israeli.
Right.
And this is going to decide why we believe that destroying his house is a good thing.
Right. Let's watch the video.
One thing that we have a case to fight for. That's very much. These people, the Palestinian people, prefer to die standing than to lose its case. We achieved proving that this nation is going to continue fighting till victory. We achieved that our people could never be defeated. We achieved teaching every single person in this world that we are a small, brave nation who are going to fight to the last drop of blood to put justice for ourselves after the world failed in giving it to us.
So there you have it, and you might begin to be seeing why Palestinians are incentivized to go out and do terrorist attacks against Jews. But it gets even worse than that, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But first, a little background on Muntasir Shalabi from the town of Tura Messiah. The reports say that he was estranged from his wife here. A lot of people say he spent very little time here in Israel. He was also a U.S. citizen. By the way, why are we not talking about, instead of condemning the demolition of his house, why is the U.S. State Department not stripping his citizenship in the United States?
Right.
He is a terrorist, a committed terrorist. So why should we not be stripping his, taking away his passport and his citizenship there?
Yeah, Luke, he killed...
Wouldn't that be the common sense thing to do?
He killed an ally. Like, this guy killed
Israel's strongest ally in the Middle East.
I don't think there's no such a thing as a Palestinian ally. I haven't seen it. This is all a political game. But literally, Israel is an ally. Israel is an ally of the United States, and the United States is basically spitting in the face of Israel by declaring that they're going to support this terrorist. And when a Jew dies, an ally dies. Yeah. No big deal.
Anyways, reports say the terrorist spent most of his time in the United States in Santa Fe, New Mexico, with his other wives and his other houses. We'll leave that right at that. He was a U.S. citizen. He was not on good terms with his wife here in Israel, according to reports. Despite all this, and we have a picture of his wife on the screen, Shalabi's wife is now calling him a hero. The Palestinian Authority, why would she call him a hero? Because the Palestinian Authority is about to put him and his family on a monthly salary. The worse the crime that he committed, the more he's going to be paid. And I want to make this clear. We're not talking about a little stipend or anything like this. We actually have the chart, and you can look this up for yourself. We have source links in the description below. The worse the crime, the more he'd be paid. Because he killed a Jew, he will most likely receive a 30-plus year sentence. That means he will begin receiving 12,000 shekels per month. That's almost $3,500. But it gets worse. He has a wife and 7 children. For his wife, he'll receive an extra 300 shekels per month. For each child, he'll receive an extra 50 shekels per month. The Palestinian Authority will also provide health insurance and tuition for prisoners as well as their spouses and children. All in all, this terrorist that killed a Jew and wounded 2 others will sit in an Israeli prison for most of his life, most likely, with his schooling paid for, health insurance taken care of, his family provided for, and he'll receive a salary of 12,650 shekels per month. That's almost $4,000. This is who the United States is talking about when they rebuked Israel for demolishing this man's home. And this is why Israel needs to demolish the homes of terrorists, because the families are incentivized. The neighbors in the same town are incentivized. Why? Because they're going to never have to work another day in their life if they manage to kill a Jew. If they manage to kill 2 Jews, they're probably going to get a much higher salary than that. Yeah. I was reading the numbers of a particular family that was like responsible for a bunch of deaths. The amount of money they're receiving from the Palestinian Authority is absolutely ridiculous.
Luke, and not only that, but if he gets out of prison, say there's a prisoner swap or something happens where they end up getting out early, he's going to be like at the top of the list for a job with the PA. The PA is going to make sure that he gets a job. Like he's like a royal citizen now.
Right. Oh, he's actually prioritized for, like a government position when he gets out of prison, if he gets out.
And Luke, I want to say this too, because
Social Security's taken care of. He's
American citizen again
for the rest of his life.
The people can't miss this. He's American citizen. His wife's American citizen. All of his children are American citizens. So it gets worse, Luke. We're talking about not just a Palestinian thing over here where the corrupt government is paying Palestinians to murder Jews. Now they're paying American citizens. That's where it gets absolutely crazy. And that's not the America that you and I are born and raised in.
Not only that, but if he's an American citizen, if the rest of his family are, they're going to get benefits from the United States. We talked to a Palestinian. He wouldn't go on camera. Off camera, he's the stimulus checks that Americans received during COVID.
They got them all.
He was getting his stimulus check,
and all his children.
Social Security. He's getting Social Security. Your American tax dollars are paying for this man Social Security, and maybe another stimulus check too. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Instead of stripping this man of his U.S. citizenship, the United States is actually condemning Israel for demolishing his home. Why does Israel need to demolish their home? Because otherwise, there is no discouragement from his family trying to commit a terrorist attack, his wife trying to commit a terrorist attack, the people that he knows, other people in the village, anyone amongst. They already have enough incentivizing in their schools, their curriculum, their brainwashing. This is just another level.
So to put it all clear, Israel has to destroy these homes. This is the Middle East, folks. This is not Tennessee, where I grew up. It's not America. It's not even Europe. This is the Middle East. It's a completely different way of thinking. You go in and you kick hard. You destroy that house. And the whole village says, you know what, we're not going to do that. If you don't do that, you better bet the next terrorist is right around the corner, because he needs his salary covered and he needs his family taken care of. He's got a bad situation. This is why Israel has every right. And let me just say this really clearly. And any American listening, and I hope some high officials would actually hear this. America has the right to defend itself, and actually, America has its right. Israel has a right to defend itself, and has the right to defend itself by itself. You know what? That's just fact. And so, if Israel decides that it wants to tear down a terrorist house, Israel has a right to decide that.
Yeah,
and that's just plain old. Luke, I want to get onto this because we've got that settled. The other infuriating thing, and it's really honestly sad thing, is that the media that's going out. Let me just read you a few headlines.
Right.
This is crazy, and because it doesn't nail down the fact that this man murdered, that shall be murdered. An Israeli. This is the headlines.
Yeah, it was actually a bit puzzling. Why was the news reporting it like this?
It's really anti-Semitic headlines here. It says, and these are just all over. It says Israel. This is one. Israel levels family home of alleged Palestinian attacker. Okay, next headline. Israel says that Shalabi carried out Israel says he carried out an attack on May 2nd. The next one. Israeli security forces accuse. All right. That all of this, a Palestinian-American suspected. All right, there's the other one. All of this. Look, those are just a couple headlines. Literally, they're all like that. Suspected, accused.
And just to be clear,
nothing is saying clearly.
This is not alleged. He's not suspected. Israel's not accusing him. He committed this act.
Heinous
He's
crime.
going to Israeli prison. And his house was demolished because of that fact.
So again, we've got bias, anti-Semitic, and that is infuriating to me when I see news come out that says such things like this. This is driving me nuts. Absolutely crazy that they are not. That's just false. It's not. He's not. It's fact.
Right.
He killed a Jew just down the road from where you and I are.
Right.
That's just fact.
And by the way, if you're wondering what Rasheda Talib had to say about this, she tweeted, "We must stop our taxpayer dollars being used to violently oppress the Palestinians." Just this week, Israel demolished and leveled the home of a Palestinian family in the beloved village of Turmis Aya. For what? To dehumanize. No mention of the murder of a Jew, no mention of a terrorist attack, no mention that he was a terrorist, no mention of any of that. Only that Israel is oppressing the Palestinians.
Luke, Yehuda Guetta, that
the 19-year-old that was murdered in the terrorist attack.
Yeah, it's so sad. Like, literally, he's not here today. Like, we just have to recognize it. Stop, get out of the politics. Like, he's not here today because this vicious 44-year-old man, full of propaganda and Jew hatred, shot him. Cold blood shot him. Right, so we have to understand.
A man that had 4 wives, a beautiful mansion of a house here in Israel, 2 or 3 homes in Santa Fe, New Mexico, 7 children. It's just.
But at least Yehuda's father, Elisha, he says he was shocked. And this is the family. You got to understand. There's a real clear dynamic that's happening. There's a family that's represented behind this. Yehuda had brothers and sisters, mom and dad, healthy family. He was going to religious school. He was an amazing young man. You saw his picture earlier. His father says, "We're shocked that the U.S. is condemning the demolition of the house of my son's murderer and supporting the terrorist instead." That's you can open the show.
Yeah,
that's the horrific political debacle that America and the United States is putting on Israel right now. This is unacceptable. Like, this is absolutely crazy. They're supporting the terrorists and refusing to support the Jewish family that lost their son.
By the way, which he mentions, which is super important, that came from the U.S. I mean, he's a Palestinian from here, but he spends a lot of his life there, comes back here and commits this terrorist attack. He also said, quote, "It would be expected that the U.S., which has often been the victim of terrorism, would stand with terror victims rather than with their murderers." To sum it all up, where's the outcry? If you're outraged by this, then say something. Share this program, please. And if you know how to get a hold of the State Department, call them up and tell them that you are outraged that they made these statements and outraged that they're not standing with the terror victims in Israel. Guys, this is the truth. This is what's happening, and it's important for us as Christians supporting Israel to stand up for it. All of our source links are in the description below. Make sure you subscribe, guys, to get more of our content. Remember, name change coming next week. In the meantime, be strong, be courageous, and be the voice of Joshua and Caleb in your generation.
I believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Hi guys, if you enjoyed the show, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We also have tons more incredible content straight from Israel's heartland, which you can find completely free at joshuaandcaleb.com. If you're interested in signing up for a life-changing volunteer program in Israel's heartland, you can go to serveisrael.com. We host Christians from all over the world to help plant trees, harvest grapes, prune vines, and basically help farmers all over Judea and Samaria, all while experiencing the land and people of Israel in a way that you're never going to get on a 10-day tour. Just go to serveisrael.com to find out more information.